My name's Blent, and I'm an attorney with Woods and Bates. If you're watching this video, it seems likely that you're going to be coming in soon to speak with one of our attorneys about the estate administration process. I wanted to give you a little bit of information about that process and let you know what to expect when you come in. But first and foremost, I want to offer my condolences on the loss of your loved one. It's a pretty difficult time, and we hope that the information we're going to give you and the assistance we're going to give you to guide you through this process will help ease that burden a little bit. One of the first things that we are going to want to talk to you about when you come in is whether or not the person that passed away had a last will and testament. If they did, we'll go through that document, we'll look at it, and we'll describe to you what it says. If you haven't already read it, talk about where the assets are supposed to go, things like that. The first step in the process is to get that will on file in the county of residence of the deceased. So we'll get that done. And then that will is the marching instructions for the nominated executor, which would be listed in that document. That may be you or somebody that's coming with you to the appointment, but that person is ultimately going to have to be appointed by the court to be vested with authority to deal with the assets of the deceased person. So in order to get that executor appointed, there's going to be documents that our office will put together for you, and we'll go through with you and explain to get that person appointed. But there's going to have to be documents signed and filed with the court to make that happen. Once that's done, the judge will enter some orders, and the clerk is going to issue what's called letters of office. And that's going to be what gives that executor the authority to act. Or if there is no will, it's going to be an administrator. So the will makes a nomination of an executor. In the absence of a will, the state statute gives preference to certain people to act. So we can go through that, make sure we have the right people that are willing to act to do those things. Once our executor is appointed, that executor is vested with authority to collect or gather the assets of the deceased. They're charged with protecting those assets, safeguarding those assets. So whatever that means, whether it's changing locks on the doors or storing the assets in a storage unit, ultimately that executor is going to be able to sell those assets as necessary, pay any debts that the deceased person incurred during their lifetime. And then they're going to distribute the assets according to the will, or in the absence of a will, according to the law. Sometimes those things will need to be appraised. We'll talk about that, and we'll go through what those assets are, the nature of those assets, if they had beneficiaries, things like that, if they need to be dealt with through the estate proceeding or not. The executor is required by law to make certain notifications of heirs, certain notifications to the beneficiaries, to any creditors that may be out there, and we'll help you through that. We'll draft those notifications and get those out to the appropriate people. There's claim notices that need to be published in the newspaper, and we'll get those done too. There's a claim period that has to run, and once that claim period runs, then we would be in a position to distribute and close the estate. During the course of the administration, we're going to advise you to keep track of what you're doing, keep good records of things that you're paying for through the estate. With the estate assets, you're going to get a estate checking account, and eventually you're going to account to all the interested people, the beneficiaries, the heirs, the creditors, what have you, of what you did. So what came in, what went out, and how we're going to propose to distribute those assets once we're ready to do that. There's a lot of pitfalls along the way, but we're going to help guide you through those. We're going to answer questions. We're going to do whatever we need to do to help make it a simple process for you. It is a complex process, but we're here to simplify that and make the complex a little bit simpler, make it a little bit easier for you. We look forward to meeting with you. We look forward to helping you and assisting you. And if you have any questions in the meantime, let us know. Our telephone number is 217-735-1234. Thank you.